Hi everyone, this is TheScientist, and I'm gonna be showing you tips and tricks for 100 Days Winemaking Simulator. Well, if you do not know anything about this game, it's a card-based strategy game. It's very fun, challenging, and addictive because fun and challenging makes addictive. So make sure you keep yourself healthy as you enjoy it. The tip number 0 is play the story mode. It's also a tutorial, and you're going to get used to the names and procedures, and then you can watch this video. You can proceed right now if you really want to, but you might not know the names, so you're gonna have to watch it more than one time. So it's fairly short, the story mode, and then you can enter the endless mode. I'll leave you the table of desired stats for each of the grape in the description. And now we go for the 10 tips and tricks for beginners in 100 Days Winemaking Simulator. First one is start slow. It seems counterintuitive, but you shouldn't be worried about things you won't be able to achieve in the beginning. So don't buy anything before making sure you will profit enough to justify the cost. Your first job is to make average to high quality bottles in the highest quantity, the best you can. A good Barb waits for nothing. Place the winemaking cards as soon as they appear and you'll get the best result. Harvest the card being the highest priority, because as soon as the grape is really ready to harvest, it's in the highest acidity, and you need the max acidity for Barb. So pruning, crop thinning, harvesting, crushing, pressing, fermenting, and aging as soon as you can. The first purchase, and that's the tip number 2, should be aging. Aging technology will allow you to increase the body of your Barb and any other wine, so you need it to buy a barrel. Board space is very expensive, and although it feels like that's what you want to buy in your first gameplay, it is not necessarily the best for you. As you can see, in my best gameplay so far, I've took 5 years to start doing Chardonnay. That's when I needed to increase my board space. So it does not bring you any more money to have more board space. It's literally just for your mental comfort. I'll leave my purchase order down below, but the main idea is, in the beginning, you want to increase body using aging and barrel, reducing faults right after that with a rinsing unity, cleaning rooms to speed up the cleanings because you really need cleaning to reduce faults, board upgrades then because you're going to need it, and then the tractor. When you have a tractor, you're going to be able to harvest in 2 days, and then it will match perfectly for Chardonnay. So then you're going to buy a new land and Chardonnay. After Chardonnay, you need types of pruning. And we're going to talk about this a little later on because Chardonnay is incredibly important for your meat game. So I repeat the first tip: don't buy things you don't need until mid-game, like malolactic fermentation that demands specific vineyards that you're not going to have for really, really many years. Marketing: only will care about it when you need to sell for supermarkets. If you haven't even heard of this, please don't waste your money. Complex tools and equipment, machinery that you're not going to use, you will not be needed. Larger tanks, definitely you are not going to buy until you have large quantities. So pretty much. Third tip, essentials. Treatment is key. Cleaning prevents breaks and faults. Empty board is boring gameplay. So when you have time, click on the vineyards, get treatment cards, and do both treatments. Open all your wineries and your tool store, and then get the cards for cleaning. It does not come automatically unless it's incredibly dirty. So before it wears off, you just go and clean it as soon as you have space on your board. So far in years, old tractors never broke with me, really, in decades. So just keep it as clean as possible as soon as possible. Tip number 4, Barb is good, but Char is your money maker. Chardonnay grapes should be harvested 3 to 4 days after the card appears, pretty much right after you finish harvesting Barb with a tractor. They are fully compatible. When you are mid-game and you get more space, harvest the day it reaches 6 acidity. So just click on a vineyard and look at it, and when it's 6 acidity, you will harvest. It's really hard to use malolactic because you can't control acidity. So it's a bad idea and increases the time it reaches for you to start selling, making you incur in debt, and it's not really a good idea. So try to get the acidity right at the harvest time. Chardonnay can give you at least 50% or more bottles than Barb of similar quality. Much easier to get higher quality wine, and it's about 25 to 40% cheaper. That's where your main profit will come for, as you see in this image. With both above 95 in ratings, my early game yearly income is 40,000 from Barb and 60,000 with Char. Removing the cost of each bottle, 2,500 only, more because I have more bottles. 59% of all my money will come from Chardonnay. Alright, so that brings us to tip number 5. Set your goals by the money you can get yearly. So you have tables to see how much yearly income and costs you have. So please look at them from time to time. Until late in the game, you will not have any other source of income than your bottles. So you will need precisely to know how much money you have per year so you can anticipate how many years you take to pay a loan. And you'll be able to buy new equipment and improve gameplay without reaching debt over for game over. So which might be about 3 days in debt, but I didn't test if it's always 3 days in debt. So I cannot guarantee for that. I did lose game over several times and it was always 3 days in debt. Tip number 6 is perfect is the enemy of good. For my gameplays, the thing that makes the highest score for wine is the quality of the grape. As you can see those images here. If you get great and excellent, you can proceed. Your rating will be quite high and you might get even 100 score with only 2 stars out of the 5 factors that are desired expected levels for the typicity to be super high. So the acidity and the body should be 6, for example, but it worked perfect anyways. So you can see here if the quality is excellent, the greatest, you should be able to increase a little bit the amount of pressing and not be able to reach perfect stars every single time, get more bottles out of it and more money out of it. Which comes to the tip number 7, getting more is more. When you do get consistently excellent and great grapes and you're not getting faults anymore, press a little more if it increases a little tannin. Not too much, you don't want to go too far, but at the same time play around with it. And that comes automatically with one of the cheats that I think in this game. Save it. If you save the gameplay right when you're going to take the specific decision of pressing more, and then you save the game right there, go proceed. When you do the wine tasting and you see it's bad, you can go back to your save file and load it. So then you try a different method. And that's a good way right in the beginning to test around what you can do and what you cannot do and still get money out of it. So same thing as pruning. You know, in my hands, you can still get 100 rating when you leave 2+ quality. So you do a little bit more dense planting at pruning, and especially when you can do trimming. So that will make you able to do excellent, or great and excellent wine grapes, which will give you at least 80 in rating, even with faults above 70. So you're gonna have a good amount of profit and in quality and a good amount of bottles. That's pretty much what you want. Go playing around those things and see if you can squeeze more bottles all the time and keep the quality above 80. Do not get obsessed about almost 100 quality all the time, although it feels really good when you do. The sacrifice of money only justified for fame and achievements. Of course, you want to get your achievements after you do that. Don't get over obsessed with it. So that goes for the number 8. Faults are a very important enemy. Do not underestimate faults. So far, the best way I've found to reduce faults is to purchase as soon as you can the bottle rinsing equipment in the winery. And there's always at least one punch down cycle. Do not do without punch down for the Barb. Another one that increased me a lot was used green bottles. And you can use, especially for Chardonnay, because it's your main money maker, I use glass corks because they give less problems. But for the Barb, I keep the classic corks because they might give me a flavor, although they do give faults from time to time. Another thing that helps is to leave it a little bit in fermentation, at least 1 or more, to increase alcohol. If you increase alcohol, the prices of your bottle go up. even if the rating might not be as up. So it's good to have a little more alcohol, at least 11%. The most you can have, the best you can have. And of course, using the natural yeast will give you some more flavor chances. That's the tip number 8. Reduce faults. Another thing you should do is clean every equipment. For example, buying bottling machines are really expensive, and I definitely don't do it with only 2 wineries. So all you have to do is at the time one bottling is done, you clean it, and then you start the bottling of the next one. Tip number 9, use the filter tab for selling. To get the proper value for your wine, you'll be able to predict how much you'll make every year and set your goals straight. It is important to decide how much you're willing to lose per bottle. My general rule of thumb is that I'm okay to lose 2 euros per bottle or less. More of that just for fame, because fame increases my overall price of my bottles and increases the amount of orders I get, so it's pretty much justifiable. Well, all you have to do is click once in this filter tab and then go clicking to sell to the ones you want. Of course, I go down because in this way of setting the filters, you have the highest quantity of bottles there, so I can get more money out of it, and I can predict how much money I'm gonna make at least in each of the amount of bottles I have. So pretty much what you want here is to make sure that you do not use the shop to do automatic selling. When you use the shop, it sells so much, and you can choose, for example, for private customers instead of restaurants, which is generally a bad idea, as I said. What you want is that the shop is going to sell your bottle so fast you're going to run out of money really quick, and they generally private customers vary so much, and you're going to lose way more money than you could make if you do it by yourself. Of course, it does save time, and when you are increasing the quantity of your bottles by too much, it's perfectly okay to use the shop, but that's going to probably be for you mid-game. For the beginning, don't buy, or you can unlock the shop to buy something further down the technology tree, but do not put a shop to sell automatically your bottles for you. And that comes us for the tip number 10. Fame justifies everything because it increases the bottle prices. Upgrading the warehouse allows you to get more orders and special orders. Play the special orders strategically, but the game won't let you go much further from 60 fame regardless of doing everything right every year. At least for me. So don't sweat after you reach 60. You're gonna get a good result out of it. And later on in the game, you're gonna use marketing exhibition to be able to pass the barrier and reach up to 100 fame. So that brings us to another cheat of this, which would be to only upgrade or buy a new equipment right at the time you're gonna use it. For example, in the first year when you're doing the tip number 2 and buying your aging, and then you're gonna buy your barrel, because it increases a little bit the cost per turn, I will only buy it right at the day I will use it. So this way I can save a little thousands euros every round. Well, that's what I have for you today, guys. Be patient, have a lot of fun. And if you liked, please leave the like and leave your comments down below with questions and comments. I'm happy to learn from your experience because I did not vary a lot after I reach a good gameplay. So I'm really eager to learn more from you guys. I also have not played the challenge yet, so I did not do the King of Reds, King of Whites, and I don't know how to do that. If I do get to learn, I will bring you again next video. So see you next time.
To the next level.